doggies. See how stable these boards are?
That's the little one.
They aren't if you don't have good balance. But otherwise, for most people, it takes a little bit of a learning curve, but you get it. You get the hang of it. Just about anybody can learn how to do this. That's one thing that I love about the idea of paddle boards. The other huge advantages to paddle boards are, unlike kayaks, unlike solid boards, these blow-ups, they go in that bag. So you can walk a good distance before you get to your lake or river or stream or wherever you're putting them in, and carry the darn thing without too much trouble. And they can go in your closet, and you don't need. You can put this in the back seat of a Prius. I mean, they go anywhere. They can go anywhere. The other thing that I absolutely love about them is if you've got bad joints, if you've got a bad back, or you just have issues with sitting in a single seating position for long periods of time. I'm standing up, I can go to my knees, or I can sit all the way down. And I can go back and forth between all those positions. I can lay out on it, I can do some stretching, I can do some yoga, listen to music, have a meal, sunbathe, whatever. The fact that it's a flat board gives you all those abilities to move your body around and not be locked into just one position, one body position, where you get all those aches and sores and strains from being confined to that one position. And transferring, it's all about balance. And again, it just takes practice to get the hang of it, but it's not too bad. Let's dive into the differences of the boards, and then have a little bit of fun. Three hours later, and 5,000 pumps of air into these things with that pump when it's 100 degrees outside is not fun. I do highly recommend searching and purchasing a decent electric pump for these things, especially if you're having to blow up more than one. Because even with a good pump like the one that's supplied, it's a little bit of a challenge. It's definitely a workout, especially when it's hot outside and you just want to get in the water. We're looking at two different boards here. The one on the right here is the ROC Outdoors paddleboard that is 10 foot 6 inches long, so 10.5 feet by 33 wide, and a 6-inch thick mat there, so you get 6 inches of thickness. And I'm going to discuss the differences between these two in the fact that the width and the length definitely play a noticeable difference in the stability of them. Even though they're both measured at 33 wide in the centers, right above or right at where the center handles are, grab handles are, they obviously, the shape of them, they don't look the same width, because really it's just that one portion on the smaller board, the 10-foot board here, is shaped more pointy. It's not as wide through the further length of the board. You can pretty much tell just looking at them here. The price differences between the two of them, and that's really the reason why I got the smaller board, was mainly because of the price difference. It's about $20 to $45 price difference depending on what sales are going on Amazon. Amazon's pretty much, for the most part, the best place to get them. This particular brand, they are made by the same company, even though the smaller one is labeled and named Polar Outdoors. It's made by the same company. The price difference here on Amazon, you're looking at the 10.5 foot board is going to range between $200 and $225 on Amazon. Their website, the ROC Outdoors website, where they sell them off straight from the source, you're paying just a little bit more. You're going to pay anywhere between $225 and $250 for them, depending on whether or not their site has sales. The smaller one, the 10-foot board, it ranges on Amazon somewhere between $180 and $190 is what I'm typically seeing them. And every time I check it, every week or two. And if you just want to get on the water, get an electric pump. It's worth the money just to get an electric pump. I need to invest in one because this sucks, especially in 110 degrees heat out here. So yeah, get the electric pump. If not, then make sure you're getting one of these boards that the pump has both the intake and outtake or pumping it up, as well as down here at the bottom. That hookup is for pulling the air out of the board. So when you get it deflated, you get it all the way deflated to where the entire board can easily roll up and fit in the carry bag. The carry bags that the ROC brand, this brand comes with, are really nice carry bags. I'm very happy with the quality of those. This pump that came with the larger board is a solid quality pump. On the smaller board, you lose this end here down by the foot for pulling the air out. That kind of sucks, but it's not too terrible. I actually have been lucky enough to rolling them up to not have to need to use this bottom one, but it is a nice feature to have. Next is the paddles. So if you're like me and you've got years of kayaking and kayaking long distances or doing whitewater, lighter paddles make such a huge difference in comfort and speed and maneuverability, especially when you got to maneuver quickly. So I absolutely love the carbon fiber paddles. Not a must-have, but if you're going to spend a lot more time paddling and less lounging on the boards, splurge the extra $55 to $75 to get one of these carbon paddles. I'll provide the link for it in the description. So please check out and consider getting a carbon fiber paddle if you got the funds to do so. Alright, so on the standard paddles that come with the boards, the less expensive, smaller board here, they're in 3 pieces, and the top piece on the more expensive board has no guide rail system. So you have to pay attention on the orientation of this part when you lock it in place so that it is lined up with the blade of the paddle when that blade is on it. Otherwise, you have on the less expensive, smaller boards, you have this piece has a guided groove system in it, so that there's really the 2 ways that you can put it in. You can put it in one way and the orientation is wrong. You simply just flip it around, put it back in that groove system, and it's right. So it makes it a lot faster, a lot easier, especially for first timers and new into paddle boarding and putting these things together. That guided rail is helpful, but it also creates a compromised weak point here because you're relying on that plastic housing that locks this part of the blade in place. You're relying on that for strength, so you got to be just a little bit more gentler on the paddle because of that. Unfortunately, when mine was shipped, it was shipped with this plastic bracket was split. The plastic was broken all the way through and compromised. So even though I've super glued this one, I have no idea how long that super glue will hold up and it will last before it's completely trash. So here's the important thing: do not go through Amazon. My recommendation is not to go through Amazon for getting a replacement paddle. Go straight to ROC Outdoors website. I'll provide their link. Go straight to them, communicate with them. From my experience was they were very quick to reach back out to me and respond to me, and they sent me a new paddle right away. I had it within about 5 days and I was good to go. I was very, very happy with their customer support and how professional they were and how fast they were. So that was really awesome. So that's one reason why I vouch for the ROC Outdoors boards here, because they had great customer service. It's really nice knowing that the company has its own website outside of Amazon's website, because Amazon getting parts and replacement pieces is way more of a challenge. It's really nice when the company's got their own website and their own people to help you out with that. So that's the paddles. Obviously, I also recommend that these boards, you get the ones with the 3 fins, you get the 2 stabilizer fins. plus the center one that just slides into place and has a little locking clasp. Very easy to do with that locking clasp slide-on setup. I've not had any issues with the more than a handful of times that I've blown up these boards and used them, so that's been great. And those 2 extra fins definitely make a difference in stability. The shape of these 2 boards, as much as I enjoyed the cost savings and this being a less expensive board, this one is way more stable because it stays wider for a longer length of the board, and those 2 extra stability fins are a little further apart than this one. The extra length and the extra width and the profile of it really makes a noticeable difference. Very, very noticeable difference. The other things that I recommend, along with getting an electric pump and getting a carbon fiber paddleboard, is getting a paddleboard lunchbox bag of some sort. This is an actual insulated lunch bag, so you can put food and things in there and it stays a little cooler while you're out paddleboarding. But it's got this bungee system on the back with these nice little plastic hooks that clip onto these D-rings very nicely. I've always put mine up here. It clips very nicely. It stretches the bungee cord out a little bit more, clipping right here or clipping back here. But I really do enjoy having this bag to put my water bottle, my phone, everything in. It's not 100% waterproof, but it's absolutely water resistant, that if the board were to flip over, which I've yet to have that happen, but if it would, you just flip the board right back over, and I'm almost positive that everything would stay dry in it. So look at getting one of these bags. Very, very nice to have, very useful to keep your things safe and dry and attached to the paddleboard. The other reasons why I like these boards is I like all the extra D-rings. I like the extra bungee cords in the rear for putting stuff there. Maybe your water bottle you want there, as it's easier to reach right back behind you than have to go all the way to the front of your board. But then these extra D-rings here are nice so that you can get those little sit-on-top seats, those little folding padded seats, and you can set this up again with you setting up your paddle like a kayak paddle. You can set up a seat and basically turn your paddleboard into a sit-on-top kayak. And that's a really cool feature, a really cool thing to be able to do. Alright, I'm just going to throw a little bit of footage of me being on the water with them, and that's going to be it. So thanks for tuning in, and feel free to watch me goof around on the water. Hopefully not fall in, but
I hope he
thanks
does.
for watching, and y'all take care. See ya. Peace.